We talk about illegal immigration all the time. Not to beat a dead horse, we're not going to discuss the cities. We're not going to discuss changing the voting block. That's not what today's video is about. But it is about who is crossing the border. We have now amassed a new army here on our U.S. soil. The question is, what is the intentions of the now 20 to 50,000 military-age Chinese people here in America? There's a new study that shows that, you know what, we've let a lot of people across the border. There's something that's even more startling about who we're letting across. Let's jump into it today because I'm scared we're seeing a lot more damage that's going to happen to the U.S. soil over the coming years because of the mistakes we're making right now. Let's jump into it. Today's video starts right now. Hey guys, welcome to the Max. Thank you so very much for being here today. We're inside the truck. It's actually really chilly outside, but actually I'm a little under the weather. If you watched our vlog, my wife talked about it on our vlog channel. We've all been a little sick, so it just, the things must happen and still go on here on the farm. We're still working every day, but it's one of those cases where if I can film indoors in the truck, I'm gonna have to do it today because it's a little chilly out there and I'm not feeling the best. So thank you again for being here. Our goal is to always bring you things that makes you think, but also helps you build a wise outlook on the world that we live in. If you are new to the channel, go down here, press subscribe, ring the bell, give us a thumbs up. It does help us share our message across this platform, and it does mean the world to me when you do share and you do comment, because your opinions matter. When you comment, it helps us as a community grow together to gain more knowledge and more wisdom on the stories at hand. Now let's jump into this situation when it comes to the nationalists coming across the border. And they're not Americans. They're not even Latinos. This is Chinese. As a nation remains gripped by illegal immigration, this is something of historic proportions. Chinese nationalists increase 500% of military-aged men from China are now crossing the border. Now, we're not talking about coming to a better country. We're not talking about coming from a third world country of poorness and poverty. We're talking about military-aged men coming across our border. Now, why are they coming across our border? And why are we not asking this question? Why are Democrats allowing this to take place? It blows my mind. Brendan Judd, the head of the Border Patrol Union, recently warned that there's a sharp rise of military-aged men crossing the southern border. This is where, listen to this, this is where the Chinese communist regime will infiltrate the United States. It has been revealed that in fiscal year 2023-2024, in San Diego alone, there's been over 20,000 apprehensions of Chinese nationalists that's come across. That's 5 times the number of any other year. Now again, why are they crossing the border? Why are we allowing it to happen? And why are we not bringing more attention to this? Here's the spin, and here's where you get the Democrats. Well, they're just probably looking for better country, because if during all the lockdowns, China was hard and all the deteriorating economic problems, they're just probably looking for a better place to raise their families. So military-aged men, no children, no wives with them, just military-aged men coming across our border to make a better place for them and their family. Come on, people. Why do you believe that? You know, a lot of times in history, there would be countries that would develop military-aged men armies, and they would not allow them to get married, would not allow them to have children. Why? Because it put their full focus on the problem at hand, war, at the problem at hand, taking over an area in honor of a country, because again, they had nothing else to fight for. Men love fighting for something. We love having a pride in having something. Like, I love my family. I love my children. I love my spouse. Of course, I love God. So that's things that are near and dear to me, and it brings a passion for me because I want to protect them. Well, when you have someone who does not have a wife or a child, who has no other goal in life other than to fight for a country, then therefore you are allowing them to have that passion and purity, and it's going for their cause, which is to fight for their country. So what are we doing? We're allowing 20 to 50,000, upwards of 50,000 military-aged men here from China that has crossed our border. That's what some reports are showing. Well, if they have no other view, as in no other children, no other spouse, they have one thing on their mind, and it is to live for China, do you actually think they're here to benefit America or to be a detriment to America. And here's another thing. Why the influx? Did you know that there was not an influx under the last presidency? Just this presidency. Why all of a sudden is there a sudden influx? Is there something on the way? Is there something that's going to happen? You know, we always said America would not see war on our grounds anymore because we have such power. Well, we are literally allowing an army to come across our southern border to literally infiltrate our country. And we're just allowing it to happen. Think about all the damage that can be done with 20 to 50,000 men who hate America coming across our border. Think about the terrorist attacks that could happen. Think about the biological attacks. Think about the cyber attacks. Think about the national security threats that could happen. You know, we worry about, a terrorist cell that has 1 or 2 people, or worried about a mass shooting that has 1 or 2 people involved. Now we're allowing 20 to 50,000 people come across the border that are military-aged men that has one passion, one purity, and that is to fight for the motherland, and we're allowing them to cross our border unchecked, unguarded, and just open it up, because that makes perfect sense. Help me understand where we went wrong in our country. How have we gotten so upside down to believe that we just can have open borders and have America sovereign and safe? Just help me understand that. I want to know any of you, and I want you to ask any Democrat or any Rhino Republican, do they leave their gates open and their doors unlocked and their windows unlatched at night? Do they allow their children just to go out and play in the neighborhoods that are not safe? Just ask them that. Common sense would say, no, we lock our doors at night. Well, because we want to make sure what's ours is ours and no one else. What makes it different for our country? Why are we allowing this to happen? Not only this, we just saw another spy balloon that is flying over America as we speak. As we speak on this video. We've allowed China to do that once before. And again, we're monitoring it. We have a leader who needs to be in a nursing home, and we're monitoring a balloon that is flying over that's surveilling us and surveilling maybe military places all across America, and we're allowing the army to come straight across our border. Do we not see this as a problem? And the sad thing is, to see any politician to not stand against this, to me, is treason. They should be kicked out of the country. They should. Any of these people who believe that America is so bad and they don't believe we need a sovereign border should be alienated and exiled from our country. That's a bold statement, but I'm just being honest. If this country's not worth much more than that to you, then you don't need to be here. I laugh because these politicians, this has nothing to do with this story, but I just get mad because there was a group of Senate and congressmen that went to Ukraine just the other day. And you talking about just virtue signaling. Chuck Schumer leads this group, and he is so overwhelmed by himself, and that he is so sold out to Ukraine and the war efforts, that this man is wearing literally Ukrainian colors. He's got a light blue blazer on with a yellow tie. It's like he is bending over backwards for Zelensky. It's virtue signaling. We're so worried about the other countries that we give money to. We're so worried about everybody else's border, but we can't worry about our own. These politicians, you need to vote them out. I cannot believe we don't have term limits. I cannot believe we allow politicians to worry about other people's borders and not our own. I get so angry with the fact of our leadership, because one day we're going to wake up and say, that was probably a bad idea to allow those Chinese migrants to come across. That was probably a bad idea because now we're infiltrated. That was probably a bad idea because now we're seeing cyber attacks and down drones and national security threats across in America at this state and this state because we allowed all these people to cross our border. One day we're going to look back and say, you dummy, of course. That was going to cause a problem. Again, that's like me leaving my door open and telling everybody in my community, hey, you come on in, you sleep in my home, you do whatever you want, you take what you want. And then I look back one day and say, you know what, I probably shouldn't have done that because my house is wrecked and I have nothing now. And I don't know where my kids are. I don't know where my stuff is. That was probably a bad idea. But guess what? Then it'd be too late. So while we allow a spy balloon to go across, we allow an army to literally amass crossing our border. Not just talking about the drugs, not talking about just the quote-unquote illegal immigrants. We're talking about the Chinese nationalists that are now building an army here in America. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. A lot of this stuff, individually, we can't do anything. But our voice can. So we need to keep speaking up about this because our politicians won't. It doesn't matter if you like Trump or not. And truly, he is the only one saying that we should close the border. And if you talk about track records, again, this is stated. These stories show. This is from Breitbart and also from Zero Hedge. There's no one that did better on the border than Trump. Less Chinese migrants, less illegal immigration come across the border during his term versus Biden's. And so why are we making this a big deal? Why are we believing that it's okay to have 20 to 50,000 Chinese nationalists in our country? I don't grasp it. And for anyone who supports the Democratic narrative that that's okay, I struggle with understanding how you believe that America is free and how you want to see America and how you think America is going to be safe. How do you think you're going to keep your family safe? Did you hear about the illegal immigrant that killed someone in Atlanta just the other day? A jogging lady. We're not even safe enough to go on our streets anymore because we're allowing this to happen. Did you hear about the drug bust? They busted a meth drug bust at the border that was big enough to cause states' worth of death. And we just allow it to happen. We allow it to happen. Your politicians are sold out people. Until you find new people to represent us. Again, let's think about it. What other politician, name one other politician that did not take a check and was willing to give their money to something else and willing to serve you for free? One guy, Trump. Doesn't matter if you like him or not. He's the only one that's done that. Not any other Republican or liberal or Democrat has given up their money to serve. Name one. Not one. Name one other politician that's lost money while being in office. Trump. Not another one. So to me that shows one thing. No matter if you love him or hate him, he's going to do more for our country than Biden has done, and he's going to do more than all these other senators and congressmen, because all of them are worried about fattening their own pockets and doing their own thing, whereas they're watching our country burn. We're worried about the borders of all these other nations, and we're not worried about our own. One day we'll look up and say, I wonder why that happened. And it's all going to be because these politicians. Well, guess what? Their families are going to be safe because they're going to be locked in their big mansions and their big fences while you, the American people, suffer. Is this what you really want? You've got to get these people out of power. It's time to speak up. The more you speak up, the more you tell the truth, the better we're going to get our message out and to say, you know what? Enough's enough. Guys, let me know what you think. I don't mean to be drab and depressing this morning, but I guess I just get blown away that we allow spy balloons to fly over America and we allow a new army basically to come across our border and infiltrate our nation when we're paying billions to try to save another nation. It's unbelievable. Give me your thoughts. Let me know what you think. Again, sorry for my voice. Sorry for the scenery. Just again, a little under the weather, but we thank you again for watching. We humbly ask you to share this message, and let's think how we can do it together. First of all, the reason we share these things is not to discourage you, but to encourage you to do better, to protect yourself, to protect your family, protect your food system, to protect yourself, defending, understanding what that means for you and your family. Finding places to get away from these cities. If you can move, you need to try to move. Try to teach your children values and morals, not what the school system is teaching them. Understand what true education and history is. When you see nations falter, it's because they've allowed their children not to understand history and not to see the dangers. And this is that time in history again where we're not showing danger. We're allowing people to come across our border, and our kids will have to deal with this one day because we're not being the leaders we're supposed to be by closing the borders and protecting our children. Let us know what you think. God bless. Happy homesteading, y'all.